Listening on Audible helps your imagination soar. Whether you listen to stories, motivation, any genre you love, you can be inspired to imagine new worlds, new possibilities, new ways of thinking. Maybe you'll find inspiration in the incredible true story of Black female mathematicians at NASA in Hidden Figures, or the fantasy world of Throne of Glass. There's more to imagine when you listen. As an Audible member, you get to choose one title a month to keep from their entire catalog. New members can try Audible free for 30 days. Visit audible.com/imagine or text imagine to 500-500. That's audible.com/imagine or text imagine to 500-500.
Okay, it's time to commit. 2024 is the year for prioritizing yourself. Begin your new smile journey with Byte, and you could start seeing results in just 2 to 3 weeks. Just order your at-home impression kit today for only $14.95 at Byte.com. Byte Clear aligners are doctor-directed and delivered to your door. Treatment costs thousands less than braces. Plus, they offer financing options, accept eligible insurance, and you can pay with your HSA FSA. Get 80% off your impression kit when you use code WONDERY at Byte.com. That's BYTE.com. Start your confidence journey today with Byte.
Hello, welcome. Let's chat. It's hard. You want to talk? I know, that's disappointing. Sit back. Let's work this out. How's it going? What are we doing here? Where are you going? Hey there. Wow. It's not always easy. It's amazing if you think about it. Let's think about this. Strange. I have some thoughts about that. Life is hard. Trauma bonded.
This is our finale episode of the 82% series and the finale of the season. That's 13 seasons in the can, under wraps.
Lucky 13.
Well, it's over now. Season 14 begins September 10th.
Ooh.
So after this episode, this is actually happening. We'll be on hiatus for 6 weeks and have broadcast episodes for Trauma Bonded. We will have a menage of things going on during that time. We're not going to follow the This Is Actually Happening schedule. Next week, we're going to do a special comments episode pertaining to all of the dirty, fucking, filthy opinions y'all have for the past 6 episodes. And the good opinions, too. We don't judge. Well, we'll judge a little bit. Welcome to Trauma Bonded. I'm Elly Westberg here with Therese Garcia.
Hello.
And today we're discussing episode 329 of the podcast, This Is Actually Happening. What if you became your husband's guardian? A brief synopsis. Chris grows up privileged in a God-fearing home. Her high school sweetheart, Brandon, becomes her husband at a young age. And when he's only 23, he's in a terrible car accident and suffers a traumatic brain injury. Chris sticks by him and becomes his sole caregiver. After some time, she no longer feels like his wife and divorces him so she can become his legal guardian. She meets a new husband, James, and now him, his son, and their 2 daughters, along with Brandon, make up a modern family. And full disclosure, I am the showrunner for This Is Actually Happening, and T knows nothing about anything. She comes in fresh, and this show, Trauma/Bonded, is for the listeners, a space where we can talk about each episode, digest it, and reflect on it with empathy and also a bit of levity. That's Trauma Bonded. What stuck out to you is the heart of Chris's story.
Yes, so I went with one word this time, and it's a metaphor for the story. Sand. She talks about sand quite a bit, when they have their sand ceremony, right? They also
Go to the beach.
Go to the beach a lot. There's the memorial there.
What is a sand ceremony? Did you know what that meant when she mentioned it?
Research alert.
Oh, research alert.
No, I did not.
Oh.
I did not know what it was.
That's a
so
false research alert.
No, so I research alert.
Oh, you did do it. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were like,
it's a roller coaster of emotions. I didn't know. So then I research alerted it.
Oh, copy. I was going to, and I forgot.
Well, she does describe it, right? They pour the sand together. So in a sand ceremony, the sand represents your life, past and present. So each grain of sand is a part of you, right? And then when blended with others, it becomes a whole, like a new unified.
Mhm. Like you can't see where one begins and the other ends.
Exactly. You're like intertwined.
This is a terrible message, but continue.
For this story, I'm not talking about like if it's good or bad for life or whatever. I'm saying in this story, sand represents this bond, this commitment, right? How they're integrated into each other's lives.
Like sands through the hourglass.
Ah,
So are the days of our lives.
time. Sand is time passing.
Yeah.
Sand is also, research alert, sand is also created, right? By the weathering of rocks, by waves and wind, rain, right? So each grain was actually created from suffering and erosion.
Wow.
And also, the idea of sand, there's a duality there, right? Fragility as well as strength. Because each grain, right, can just go passing in the wind, right?
Yeah.
Moving along with the waves. But then it's also, it makes landscapes, right?
A big heap of it makes
Heap
a
of
beach.
it. Yeah. Can be very strong. I think that talks to both the vulnerability and the power.
Fragility.
Yeah, the fragility.
Yeah, and power. Wow.
Yeah. So it's just,
See,
right? I've been thinking a little bit on this one.
you did think.
It was deep. I thought
It was
the
really
sand
deep.
ceremony, I thought was great, especially including Brandon in it.
Yeah.
What a great way to honor their relationship, you know? So that was my heart.
Really good.
Thank you. What was your heart?
We're all just one phone call away from absolute tragedy and seeing our lives turned upside down, dreams and plans crushed, and none of it's free or easy.
Yeah.
That's just kidding.
Oh. Sad. That one was
It's
sad.
true. It's still true, but
Another roller coaster. Just kidding. No, I'm not.
just kidding. I mean, all that's true, but just kidding. I'm not bringing it up right now, even though I just did. This story made me think a lot about how life comes at us in seasons, it seems. It's hard to know sort of when they begin and when they end, but we can look back at it and see it all the time. Like specifically, she talks about all these friends that were around them when the accident first happened. And then by the end of the story, those friends were no longer a part of their lives. And that's not bad. And I don't think she was indicting them at all. I think it's just change. They were there at that particular start, that particular time to help get her through and get them through. And then they moved on with their own lives. And it just made me think about how people come in and out of our lives all the time, and some diminish in position or the relationship dims. And it's difficult, but that's just kind of like how life is. And when you really accept that concept is true, for me, it helps me see more clearly that we as individuals are the only constant. And so self-love is just so important. So in a roundabout way, self-love, self-worth, self-possession, we must have all of these things to be able to truly give and love others. Does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense to me. I love it.
So it's funny because yours was kind of like about like the combining of them. And to me, I took it and like separated it out more clearly. Like Chris's story, she got through this. She's thriving. She's created this thing by her own sheer will, by her own like stick-to-itiveness, like completely.
Yeah.
She has had help, tons of like help and support along the way, but at the heart of the story is about a woman who dug her feet in and refused to walk away from a commitment and willed into existence a family structure that no one else would have ever come up with for her or for them. And it's unique and it's really amazing. I don't think we can like underestimate how truly full of love this story is. Completely, truly full of love. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's continuing on with her kids.
Yeah.
I mean, she's making this world empathetic and compassionate.
Yeah. and inclusive.
And inclusive, yes.
She mentions inclusivity a lot, and I think that that's a really important touchstone for her, a really important concept for her. It rang true for me because coming out of those kind of religious backgrounds, even though it's Jesus loves all of us, there tends to be lines of rigidity that speak to exclusivity and not inclusivity.
Even gay people.
Absolutely. And so I think that is a weight when a Christian has to sort of reassess like what they've grown up believing and thinking, and they're reassessing their own sort of working out their own salvation. I think that is one weight that they have to release themselves of, that we're not exclusive, that we are inclusive, that is God's love, that is Jesus' sacrifice, all that stuff.
It's big.
I didn't even go to Bible study this week.
You're still feeling it. That's how strong that.
Praise Jesus. Yeah. I can't get away from him.
The guy's the stalker, yeah.
The stalker Jesus.
He's always right there. Yeah.
Oh, it's just you, Jesus.
Carrying me on your back.
You were giving me a piggyback ride the whole time. So she grew up happy and privileged, and she did see a bit of caregiving in her own household with her grandparents. She meets Brandon in high school, and they get married really young, and they get married virgins. And I also did this.
Yeah, you did.
And she's like kind of living in this bubble of everything's great and fine and nothing bad can ever happen. And then what's the first big anvil that's dropped on her is her parents are getting a divorce. And that's a big deal after 25 years of being together.
With her.
And to grow up thinking maybe everything is cool. And then to find that out. And then that forces the mom to sell the house. You know, this is another big...
Your childhood house.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
You just got married.
You're living at home with them in that chaos.
Yeah.
They get hibachi for dinner on November 2nd. And there's a really big election in our country on November 4th. Do you know what one she was talking about, T?
I think I do.
It's Obama versus McCain, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2008.
Oh, it is 2008. Oh, that's right.
So this last kiss out the door, always make it count. Anytime Scott gets on the freeway, because the 101 in California, I think, is a scary, scary place. I always give Scott a full-blown hug, even if he's late, and he hugs me, and he's like, "Why are you doing this to me? I'm late." And I'm like, "Because I must."
Well, tell him not to rush if he's late, because that'll...
Well, see, I'm almost making him rush more.
I know that I'm saying, but that's why I'm saying tell him not to rush. Don't rush. It's not...
He doesn't do what I say. Are you big about making sure that you and Glenn have a big hug before one of you leaves the house?
No, because if I'm around, maybe, and not really even, it's go around here. She's come and go, and I'm here sitting in, my office.
That's true. She goes to her art gallery, and foreshadowing, the installation is about romanticism and people talking about their worst day ever. Little did she know that hers was that day.
Yeah.
Geico better not ever call me to tell me that Scott is in a coma.
So is Geico.
Why is Geico on the phone? Hi, this is State Police with Geico. Hi.
I'm just picturing a gecko.
Yeah.
Hello. Why is it so silly? Why are you saying it in that accent?
Why is Geico silly on the phone? Yeah.
Can someone other than, yeah.
Yeah, I'd be pissed if Geico called me to tell me bad news. And the husband's in the hospital. He's in trauma ICU. And she's a baby. She's only 24. And she's constantly having to say, "I'm his wife, bitch. She talked to me." And now she lives at the hospital. And this is a terrible life to lead.
Yeah.
I do not understand this having to be at the hospital all the time.
Well, you want to be there. You want to be supporting and be there if he wakes up or,
If I'm ever in this situation, please don't come and stay at the hospital 12 to 14 hours a day. Go. Live your life. Someone will call you if something happens.
I know, but wouldn't you like it if you had been asleep and you wake up and you don't know where you are, to have your loved ones there?
Just 10 faces looking at me going, "What? Are you okay?" No.
No, but I mean,
no, I don't.
You just want to wake up. You have no idea what happened. You're in a hospital room and no one's there except for one stranger who's like checking something. and they see you and they're like, oh, and then they run away. Like, what? Is that what you
No.
prefer?
No, I'd be really mad later. I'd yell.
Think about the mad later. Wouldn't you like it? You know?
But well, no, I'd probably be more mad if people were spending 12 to 14 hours a day just sitting next to me watching me sleep.
But
That's insane to me.
that moment, wouldn't that help you? You'd be scared, confused, alone.
I think I'd be okay. Hey, oh, I'm awake. Where's my man? Where's my best friend? Oh, we'll just call him. Okay, great. I'm just gonna go back to sleep because I'm tired.
Well, don't go back to sleep. Then I come back and you're asleep. Like, damn it, now I gotta leave because you don't want me to be here.
Someone get me some ice cream or something and put on TV. And then like an hour later, like you show up, Scott shows up, my mom shows up, and I'm like, okay, hey.
You realize it's like 10 years later. You're like, what? What's the date on that?
But yeah, living at the hospital fucking sucks. And do you know how hard it is to make Thanksgiving dinner in your house, let alone get it to an ICU trauma waiting room? Like, think about the walk from where you park to the waiting room. You know, you spent a fair amount of time in hospitals.
I spent Thanksgiving in the hospital.
It's a long walk.
It's a long walk
of catering. What did you guys do for Thanksgiving?
I think we just ate what they had there. People, like some of the nurses, brought in food and a big table. And we got in on that.
Where was I?
I don't know. You probably came that night and brought me alcohol.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
That's what you usually did.
That's what I usually did.
And see, so you came to support me, right? So her friends went to support her.
But I ain't sitting by your bed for 12 hours, T.
Yeah. Well, you're not. Like, but I was. I was by her bed. I was there 24 hours. You know?
Well, yeah, but you had a little baby.
It's a baby.
Let me ask you this. If Gwen fell into a coma tomorrow from a traumatic accident, would you sit by her side for 14 hours?
As much as I could. It's logistically hard with the 3 kids.
Yeah.
But as much as I could, yeah.
Wow, maybe I'm doing this all wrong.
Ask Scott.
I just would not.
Did you do it? You did it for your dad. You did.
No. I mean,
there.
My mom was there the whole time, but I would dip in and out. I'd come and sit, and then I'd be like, I got meetings, I got work to do.
I guess for my dad, I'd same. My mom was there the whole time.
But my mom was there the whole time, yeah. And I love how hospitals are. They're so like this. Didn't this ring true to you when they called her and they're like, hey, so like he's stable, you got to take him like by tomorrow, like he's being discharged tomorrow. Like I feel like we went through this with
my mom.
Your mom all the time.
I was like, but she can't walk and she's still feeling
She hasn't walked in 5 days.
Can we do a little physical therapy? I mean, they made it so that she had to go to a nursing facility, and then that's when she went to assisted living.
Yeah.
She couldn't do it.
Yeah.
That was a torturous it was too early for them to discharge.
Those fucking hospitals. And they didn't talk to us about it. There was no communication about it. When I went to see her, I remember when we would see her, I would talk to the staff and be like, is she getting up and walking? Is she, that she has to she has to go upstairs when she gets home. Like I kept saying that to people, and they don't care, because as soon as they're like, we need the bed and there's nothing more we can do for her, they just say, you got to make her go. And then what happened to you? You took her, because I was working that day.
That was such torture. First of all, even to get into the van, she couldn't do it.
And because she was just released, they wouldn't readmit her.
Yeah.
Right? It was almost like you had to go through the motions of like taking her home, having her try, and calling a fucking ambulance again instead of just like readmitting her to the hospital.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they're right in a way. Like it was time for her to go to another facility because there was nothing for her to do for her there. But it was just the way they're so abrupt.
Yeah, and
and you have no planning it out. It's just like they gotta go.
Yeah,
they're being discharged.
Discharged. That's it. And I mean, I guess that's like kudos to the storyteller. She's such a good advocate. Like I feel like I should put my foot down and be like, we gotta wait until tomorrow. We gotta wait. She can't even walk to the bathroom. And they're just like,
Yeah.
tossed her in a wheelchair, like, good luck,
Yeah.
you know? And then as soon as she's out of the wheelchair, they're like gone. I'm like, okay, she can hardly stand. How are we going to put her in the van? Hello? You know?
Yeah.
And then there was no way she was going to go up those stairs.
Right. It's like they just set you up for failure. Yeah. Totally awful.
Awful experience for me, but the worst for her. I mean, she
suffered a lot.
She suffered a lot that day.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And I suffered a lot not being there.
Didn't seem like you did. But
I felt terrible.
well, yeah, I have some guilt issues there.
Don't carry around guilt for stuff like that.
This is how we're taught.
I know, but don't.
This podcast is brought to you by eHarmony, the dating app to find someone you can be yourself with. Why doesn't eHarmony allow copy and paste in first messages? Because you are unique, and your conversations should reflect that. eHarmony wants you to find someone who will get you. How are you going to know who gets you if people send you the same generic conversation starters they message everyone else? Conversations that actually help you get to know each other. Imagine that. Get who gets you on eHarmony. Sign up today.
What makes a life a good one? Is it the adventure you have? Or the friends you find along the way? Maybe it's pursuing your passion while striving to protect, defend, and save what you believe in every single day. So what makes a life a good one? In the Coast Guard, we think it's all of the above and more. But you'll have to find out for yourself. Visit gocoastguard.com to learn more.
Scotty, I have a question for you. If I got in a car accident today and suffered a traumatic brain injury and was in a coma, would you come to the hospital and be by my sit by my hospital
How many
bed
hours would he?
for 12 to 14 hours a day until I woke up?
What did he say? We didn't hear him.
Can we come over here and say it? Yeah. Yeah. Go away. Get out of here. He claims that he would be by my side the whole time, constantly talking to me, trying to reassure me and reactivate my brain.
That's really nice. And you would just be in your brain, hearing it, but you can't move. You're just like, shut up. It's activated.
He can't be asked questions when he just woke up. It's not serious. Well, I guess it is sort of serious.
It's not serious maybe because it's not happening right this second.
I'm just saying, I don't want you to. I want you to go live your life, okay? Now, do you give me freedom to go live my life?
Oh, that's why. Is that why? Wow.
Oh, he said
Elly.
no.
Okay, good. That's what I'm saying.
I ain't sitting by your hospital bed. That's just the new threat that we throw around my household now.
I wonder what Gwen would do. What do you think Gwen would do?
Oh, she would totally be there.
Let me ask her and let me text her.
I guess I could work from a hospital room.
You could totally I've worked from the hospital plenty of times with my mom.
Let us know in Instagram comments. Jamie, would you sit by your partner's bed for 24 hours a day while they're in a coma? Let us know. We want to know, Jamie. So she's got to advocate for him. And then that is a big deal in healthcare. And he says, I love you, which shows that there's some of him still in there.
Yeah.
So she moves him home, and now she's his sole nurse. And she really went from wife to nurse at 24 years of age. And she's got to feed and change and wash him. I just keep thinking about her being 24. Like, could you have taken care of someone's body like that at 24 years old?
No.
Like, we're not nurses in World War II. Like, what the fuck? Hell no.
It's something that she need. I mean, she had to do it, right? She was the sole caregiver. She saw her mom do it, right?
Yeah, but just, again, this is how special she is, because this is just her sheer will and love for him is showing up in these moments to be able to take care of someone's body. I don't know that I could do it. I'd like to think that I could, and maybe if I was the only one, I'd have to, but it's not a life that I would want. I know, and I'm not saying she wants it either, but I just admire her endlessly to be able to make this kind of sacrifice, because I don't know that I could. And she talks about how she has this church community that's a big help, And then she makes the statement, maybe a PhD in art history seems ridiculous now. And I was going to make like a dad joke of like, it kind of always seems ridiculous. But
No.
it definitely does now. And she quits school. So now she's barely working. She doesn't have insurance. She quits school. Doesn't have an active, intimate husband or partner. She just has this child, basically, that she's taking care of. And she's only 24 fucking years old.
I couldn't.
Every
Yeah.
bit of her easy peasy privileged life is completely out the fucking window. And what do you do now? Fuck.
Can I tell you what Gwen said?
Yeah.
More like 24 hours a day, kissy face. At least at first.
Fair.
Right? The first 24 hours. I was like, okay. Did it.
Is there any chance she's going to wake up
How are we
in
looking?
the next, say, 4 hours? Like, I'm just going to pop over to TJ Maxx, Ross Dress for Less. I'll be right back. And her speaking frankly about this caregiver burnout is so refreshing here. I think that oftentimes we just assume, especially a wife is going to be a caregiver in a situation, and we might chastise them if they chose not to be. For her to just take up that role, I think, and to be able to speak to how difficult it fucking was is so refreshing to hear.
Especially after a couple of years of being married. I mean, a lot of times you'll hear like, oh yeah, we've been married 50 years. We've been together 50 years and, he got sick and of course I'll take care of him.
I completely wrote that down to you.
What?
I wrote that down.
Oh my God.
Because that's what I'm thinking about. For her, I think everyone in her life would have completely given her a pass if she wanted to walk away. Right? It's okay. You have your whole life ahead of you. He's not going anywhere. This is going to be his life. It's okay to divorce him. It's okay to leave him in a home and go and start your new life. As opposed to if she was like middle-aged or elderly and they'd been together forever, then there's more of this assumption that takes place. Like, you will be his caregiver. Like, that's what you have been built to do. You spent all of these years with him. Like, you're his onlyest one. You're his only support.
But that's not what she said.
What do you mean?
She said something in her vows.
Yeah, but people would still let her out of that tea.
No, I know. No, I'm just saying.
That's why she's so fucking
Yeah,
honorable.
I know.
Because she takes that shit really serious.
Totally.
So she's saying that she's trying to be a caregiver and a spouse, but they can't have complex conversations. So for all intents and purposes, she has lost her husband. By the way, have you seen the documentary on Netflix yet called Tell Them You Love Me?
No.
Watch it. Everyone go watch it. I want to hear your thoughts, all of them. I'm still feeling conflicted.
What's it about?
I don't want to spoil it, but it's basically a man who also has suffered from a traumatic brain injury, and his caregiver ends up falling in love with him. So the documentary kind of probes this intersectionality of race and privilege and education and consent and being able-bodied versus what's the language? Otherly abled? You don't see disabled anymore.
Disabled.
What do you say? You say disabled still?
Or no? Oh, I don't know.
I don't know. But it's a man, for all intents and purposes, can't advocate for himself unless he is using this piece of technology. I don't want to spoil too much of it. Basically, the caregiver is claiming they're in love, and the doctors around him are saying, no, there's no way. He doesn't have the mental capacity to understand what that is. And she gets criminally indicted for basically hard R-ing a mentally challenged person.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so the doc is called Tell Them You Love Me on Netflix. Go watch it.
I think that's disturbing.
It's disturbed. It is disturbed. I was gobbed and gooped. I just sat there with my mouth open and going, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. It's one of those cases where you're kind of flip-flopping on either side, depending on like who's talking to you. And you get to the end, you're like, oh shit. I don't know what I think exactly.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it'd be just a one-sided.
No.
Oh.
No. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
The complex ones that leave me like thinking about it a lot, those are the ones that do it for me.
Okay.
Where's the support group for grieving for someone who's alive?
There is none, and get out of
Feels
here.
like there should be one.
Get out of here, they said.
Yeah, get out of here.
Yeah, there should be one, because that's tough. It's less common.
Well, and we end relationships all the time. I mean, I guess, yeah, grief is very an open-ended concept. Like, I guess they have to have some rules around it. I don't know.
Well, you don't want someone to be like, if you're grieving death, that's what it's about. Like,
Yeah.
you know, some people could be like, well, he's still alive and talking with you and saying he loves you. So mine is
Right.
6 feet under.
There's a finality. Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
I get it.
I'm just saying maybe someone might say that or feel that. I don't know.
No, I agree. And I'm sure there are support groups out there for people that have loved ones in a medically precarious state where they're not exactly there, but, you know, they're undergoing constant care toward some sort of rehabilitation. I would hope that there's some sort of support group for that. I mean, they started their own. She started one at church called the Walking Wounded.
Mm-hmm.
And her friends are really lovely. They're basically saying, you can't do this. Like, you're...
Yeah.
And this is where I wrote this note about if, like, she was middle-aged or elderly, they would, like, just expect her to do it. But because she's so young, they're saying, you can't do this. We're not really want to do it either, by the way. You know? And so they grieve Brandon, and they smoke Black and Milds, which caught me off guard.
It did. Yeah. I was like, okay.
Okay, fine.
Kind of makes me want a Black and Mild.
Yeah. Blech. Is God still good, T?
For someone that doesn't necessarily believe in God, I'll say...
You're supposed to say all the time. The answer is all the time.
I was going to say yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
T, is God good?
Yes. I mean, you know, in the way... Again,
all the
right? All the time. Oh, is that a song or something?
You're supposed to respond with all the time.
Is that a song?
No.
Oh,
it's just a church
okay.
thing. So this is when she talks about how she changed her mindset from exclusivity to inclusivity. And that is magic. I feel that deeply. That is really, really hard to change your thinking around. So if that is the gift that this has given her, then that's huge.
It opens up your world, I think, a lot.
It opens up your whole world.
It's not just to this situation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's only positive. That is so positive to be able to receive that and to acknowledge it and to see it and to look back from whence you came. That is a huge gift to be given. And she says Brandon's in his own world. He's safe there and he's happy and at peace. And his injuries inspired her career path. She's a speech therapist. Again, this is her digging in her heels, her making choices, and her sheer will and love and determination. She's working. She's in school. She's sole caregiver to Brandon at this really young age. I'm in awe of her.
It's inspirational.
And then she starts to get to the point where she's going, you know, this season of him sort of recovering and then reaching this plateau of recovery. Maybe it doesn't seem that it's going to get any better. And time just keeps ticking on. And this season is like ending for her. And she's going, am I not meant to have a family? Like, when can I reevaluate what this relationship is to me? And God says, not audibly, but it made her feel good in her heart when she realized she could take care of him and still divorce him.
And love him.
Whoa.
And still love him.
And still love him.
Yeah.
Is she breaking her marriage vows?
No.
No.
Didn't think about that. Yeah.
So she becomes his guardian, and his stupid, gross family doesn't even show up to contest. Yay, I get to take care of him. So she's with him and not acting married for years. You know, I can only think about myself. This is why I admire her so endlessly. At 24, would I have stuck with this person this way? How long, at what point would I have walked away? Because I think I would have.
But are you saying walk away, or would you have done what she's doing?
Probably not.
Just walk away, yeah.
Just walk away. And everyone in my life would have told me that was okay.
And everyone in her life
would have told her that's okay.
Yeah.
But she sticks to her values and her commitment. And she does like so much work, and she does it without any partner. And it just makes me think, like, what are you capable of doing? What am I capable of doing? And the easy path would have been just to walk away and been normal, and people would have understood. But she is special, and she took this hard path. And I feel like that journey turned her into such an awesome person.
Yeah.
Because you don't get that just from nothing.
Yeah. And I think it talks too about being inclusive. I mean, she also values his presence in her life. It's not just sacrifice. That's not
true.
They do have a relationship.
And so many people could have walked away and he would just be left a shell of a person, just a thing to take care of in a home, you know? Like she makes she helps make his life bright and vibrant, and it's still a level of love and activity and gets to be around people. I mean, how much more wonderful is his life because she continues to be in it.
And the same the other way too. But with her kids and everything, like, it really struck me when they would draw their family, and of course he would be in the drawing as well.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, it's not something that she's just saying. Like, this is really true. Like, he is really part of their family. And she finds a partner, gets the situation, James. James gets it. There's no jealousy. It's just love. You know, she walks away and goes to the bathroom and comes back, and James has his arm around Brandon, which is kind of weird.
First day. They're bonding.
Kind of weird, but it's cool. Like, he sees Chris and Brandon as a package deal.
Yeah.
And as Chris puts it, they're not fresh and young and dumb anymore. They both got baggage. She's keeping her ex-husband around. He's got a kid. And Brandon isn't the most complex component of their relationship.
Yeah.
Her and James go to therapy for other things. What do you think they're talking about in therapy, T?
Oh, I don't know. What?
It's just me being nosy. What are their problems, if not Brandon? You finished The Bachelor without me.
You told me you didn't watch the show. You didn't watch the next season. But you did. You pretended. No idea.
Did you ever watch Couples Therapy? The show on Showtime or HBO or something?
Yeah.
Fascinating stuff. Yeah, you're literally just a fly on the wall.
Yeah.
She's added 2 daughters and a stepson, and they have this big, fat, juicy, interesting, unconventional family. And the kids benefit because they see inclusivity and empathy and compassion and grace. Chris has more grace for others now, and she says that suffering is what connects us.
Yeah.
Is that true?
I think with suffering, it brings you different perspectives and empathy.
Yeah.
And that connects us all.
Yeah. He's family. And I really encourage you all go see pictures on the Actually Happening Instagram. There are pictures of her and Brandon in high school, them getting married. You can see her new husband, James. Well, I guess he's not new anymore. And their whole family. Go check out those. Did you? I did.
Yeah. I loved those pictures. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that what you pictured them to look like?
Kind of. Yeah. I feel like they. Yeah. It's like, yeah, that tracks. I don't know.
Her and Brandon in high school, they were so young.
I know.
Even getting married, they were so young.
Yeah. I love this story.
Oh my gosh, it's so good.
It's amazing.
She's a wonderful person.
Makes me want to be a better person.
This whole series has made me want to be a better person. It makes me want to be a better friend.
Makes me want you to be a better person, you know? Just kidding.
Thanks, T. So this is our finale for the 82% series. And to celebrate the series, don't forget there's that special event happening at Manny's in San Francisco on Wednesday, July 24th. T and I will both be there.
Yes, we will.
Spouseless.
Spouseless.
So buy us a drink. If you want information about that event, go see our show notes. Manny's doesn't turn anyone away, so please reach out to Manny's if you want to come, but you don't have the cash to do so. And then regarding this episode today, Chris has started a GoFundMe for Brandon. It's a GoFundMe set up to get him a sports wheelchair. So go ahead and look at our show notes if you want to see the link to that. Thank you for listening. This has been an episode of Trauma Bonded. You can find our show where podcasts are kept. If you like us, please rate and review us on Apple or other places. Rate us 5 stars and write like it, love it, want more of it. Thanks to Chris for sharing their story and giving us the opportunity to talk about it. And to seek out info about the Modern Family Institute, donate to help advance our work, or get engaged, please visit their website at modernfamilyinstitute.org. Thanks to the This Is Actually Happening team, including Whit, Missildine, and Andrew Waite, and the maker of our music and website, Nathaniel Tromboli. And thanks to Cathy Sites for editing this episode, and Katie Capel for building those blast Instagram posts. Forget the rest. Go to YouTube, baby.
Oh.
We have one. youtube.com/@symbol Trauma Bonded Pod Official. Or you can contact us on our Gmail and at our Instagram. We are trauma bonded to the story, to the storyteller, to the listeners, and to each other. Thanks for spending time with us today. And thanks for spending the season 13 with us today. That wraps season 13. And I guess not technically our season 13, but season 14 starts September 10th. But we'll have content betwixt these dates.
Betwixt.
So betwixt. It's not a great word. Love you, T.
Love you, Ellie.